moving. So, hopefully you won't hear my two boys. I told my husband, keep them under wraps. But I'm really excited to have Ashleigh on board. Um, I'll start doing some introductions because, hey, oh, Dana's on. Hey, Dana.
Sorry, I needed to do the computer restart.
Listen, it always happens, right? At the least convenient time.
Mhm.
Always. I'm like, well, I've been on this all day today. So I'm here though. We are ready to go.
Hi,
Awesome.
Dana.
Hey, Ashley, nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Hi, Dana. I'm Heidi. Nice to meet you.
Hey.
Well, I'm going to do some introductions, and we're going to get started. We're going to try to wrap at 7:30. First of all, welcome to Bravo to You, post-surgery confidence and comfort. This is a subject that's near and dear to everyone's hearts that are on here tonight, especially for our breast cancer survivors, those that are going to be getting ready to have surgery. So I just wanted to introduce everyone that's on here. If this is your first time hopping on to any webinar that Pink Divas United has hosted, I am the founder, Dr. Astrid. I am a 7-year stage 2 breast cancer survivor. I'm also BRCA2 positive. I've had multiple surgeries and I'm actually 5 months post-surgery from removing my implants that were making me sick at one point. I am an international businesswoman. I am a realtor at heart, as well as a life coach for women of faith. And I've also come out with a 9-week prayer journal called Pink Prayers, Big Goals, and Bold Affirmations to really help other survivors and breast cancer patients be able to thrive after the diagnosis. So it is my honor to serve. This is my life every single day. I am not techie or a savvy person when it comes to technology. So I had slides prepared. I will try to share that later on. But I would love to introduce my right hand this past year, Miss Ashleigh Russell. She serves as a secretary now for Pink Divas United, and her regular 9 to 5 job is serving as the store manager for a New Dawn boutique. And I love them. The staff there is incredible. She's been in this space for over 15 years, just really dedicating her life to helping women with breast cancer as well as lymphedema. So welcome Ashleigh Russell on board.
Hey.
Yeah. And then we have Heidi Pederson, the account manager for Amoena, which I love their line as well. And I didn't realize that Amoena is a global company. I was sharing with Heidi last week about my travels to Dubai and us hosting the first ever global retreat last year for breast cancer survivors. And she sent me the address that they have over there in Dubai. So Heidi's also a certified mastectomy fitter educator as well. And she does a lot in this space. So welcome, Heidi Pederson.
Thank you for having me. Nice to be here.
Absolutely. And last but not least, Dana Donofree, the incredible trailblazer. I had the chance to meet Dana 7 years ago, fresh out of treatment, feeling like a fish out of water at my very first conference, the Living Beyond Breast Cancer Conference in Philly. And when I tell you how inclusive Dana made everyone feel in that room because she understood as a survivor. She just recently celebrated 15 years of surviving breast cancer. She is the founder of AnaOno Intimates, which I love both lines. And I'm excited to have you on board tonight, girlfriend. So thank you.
Well, Astrid, thank you for having me. Sorry for my technical difficulties. You know, I live on this computer all day. Of course, it's when it happens, but my 15 years is actually literally today. So I am so happy and honored to get to share, not just with you all, but everybody here tonight. And, just sharing in the experiences of how we navigate and try to put the little pieces of the puzzle back together.
Absolutely. Well, Heidi, I want to start with you tonight. I have recently discovered Amoena. As I said before, for so long since me being healed from breast cancer, I had been following Dana, right? As another survivor, and then of course seeing her line there. So I am new to finding out about Amoena in regards to being able to wear their everyday pieces, but I'm not new to Amoena in regards to it being the post-surgical bra, right, that I'm normally going home with. So can you share a little bit about Amoena, what the company stands for, and just even a little bit more about you as well?
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Astrid. So I'm happy to be here tonight with everyone. And it's a little bit of a kumbaya circle right here. I know that Ashleigh at her business and New Dawn is a real supporter of Amoena products. And as a manufacturer, they're kind of our on the ground. Let's see here. I had a pop-up quiz there. They're kind of our on the ground network that really connects a manufacturer with the end user survivor, the women that need our products the most. And so thank you, Ashleigh, for yet again introducing me to, another great group with Astrid's group and allowing me to be here tonight. And then with Dana, we have a history, Amoena and AnaOno. We did a nice collaboration. I'm not sure how many years ago, but that was Dana, I don't know, what was that, like
3 or 4 years ago?
4 years ago,
Mhm.
something
Yeah.
like that, where we did a pretty large promotion along Amoena and AnaOno together. And I think it was hugely successful. And there's a lot of a lot of differences in women that are diagnosed, right? Everyone is very individual. So what and who Amoena is a company that started 50 years ago. We've been around 50
Wow.
years. This year is 50 years. So in 1975, out of Germany, and Cornelius started and developed the first soft silicone breast form. And with that, the mission for Amoena was born, and it was simply to support women that have been diagnosed with breast cancer. So
Wow.
through that and through our journey over 50 years and been, creating a global brand and a global company, we are now in 70 countries with several distributions. Obviously, the United States is the largest distribution out of the manufacturing out of Germany. And the mission is still the same, to support women that have been diagnosed with breast cancer. Hands down, simply, that's it. And so we have worked at supporting women through their individual journey and empowering women through their individual journey. And through that, we have really developed a brand line of products that we really hope to be a part of that individual journey from diagnosis to living your life to the fullest. So our portfolio is quite large, quite large. It starts at diagnosis. And so we have a large recovery care product line, products that are OR ready, that many surgeons, whether they're an oncology surgeon, a plastic surgeon, they prefer to use a lot of Amoena products. One, the quality obviously is number one. Two, the wearability and the comfort. And I don't think that style and comfort and usefulness should be exclusive of anything. It should all be important. And so I think that our recovery care really helps women, if they have the opportunity to be introduced to it at the time of diagnosis, really have a little easier way with their healing process. So everything from scar management to compression garments to drain management, all of those things, regardless of what type of surgery you have. If there's a diagnosis of breast cancer, there's several different paths of your journey that you can face as an individual, and we hope to fill the holes with those products that are most needed. With 70 countries and all of the women globally, we take that research and development and listen very strongly. And that's where our development of our products come from. So from, I don't know, I can go on and on, Astrid.
No,
That's really who Amoena is. You know, from diagnosis on, we are considered a silicone company in the medical device world, in the manufacturing world. We are really considered a silicone company. But it is important for us to be a part of a woman's journey all the way.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah.
And as you were talking, it was coming to my mind that when I had phase 1 last year of my SCAP procedure in New Orleans, and I came back to Ashleigh's store, New Dawn Boutique, I was complaining about the swelling. And do you remember those little triangular pads that you gave me to help with the lymph fluid
The
to
lymph flow.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, those were amazing and they helped so much. So, just a great company that I'm getting to learn and to know about. And I know it's really eye-opening for a lot of our listeners tonight that may not be aware, because here it is. This is a company that's been out for 50 years. You're in over 70 countries right now.
Right.
And it's not just post-surgical, right? The frumpy bras that we're bandaged to after we get out of surgery. But yet you guys have other things like the camisoles and bras and swimwear. So thank you so much for sharing that. And Dana, share about AnaOno. And first of all, I love the name. And I know every time I'm talking to Ashleigh, I'm like, yeah, Dana Ono. And I'm like, okay, no, it's Donofree. I always mix the two together. I don't know why I do that, but it happens. So first, how did you come up with the name?
Well, first I have to say, you have to be careful who you ask for, because Dana and Anna, she might be my alter ego. So you really aren't sure which
Oh,
one's going to show up.
so like a Beyonce and Sasha Fierce.
It's exactly it. It's exactly it.
Okay.
But no, so AnaOno comes from my name, Dana Donofree, without the double D's.
I like that.
Yeah. Funny joke, deeper joke. I was like a B cup on like a period week before I lost my breasts. So people that know me are always like, "Oh, that's actually really cute, Dana." And I'm like,
I like that.
hey. But yeah, it was interesting for me because when I created AnaOno, and my story is a story that many of us share, right? And again, applause to you, Astrid, for bringing us together, and for Ashleigh at A New Dawn. You have a beautiful, amazing store. And we're so honored to be a part of your collections. And rewinding the hands of time back to 15 years ago, when I was diagnosed as a 27-year-old woman, entering into this world that was designed for a much more mature woman than I was at that age. Granted, I have had the luck and the grace to see my 40s now, and I'm starting to understand, like, maybe I'm not that old, but I do feel old, But at 27 years old, there's this massive gap. And you're sort of catapulted into this world where you were shopping at Victoria's Secret, where you could feel sexy and flirty and attractive and desired. And then I got catapulted into not a store like A New Dawn that is beautiful and gorgeous and well lit and organized with amazing fitters, but into the brown, dingy rooms of the mastectomy boutique, of which then I got delivered the beautiful array of the beige mastectomy bra. And all I said was, does any of this come in black? I was like, not even willing to raise my standards. I just said, does anything come in black? And the woman looked at me and she said, no, honey, this is your life now. And that moment was the moment that I walked away and I said, I am grateful to be alive. I am thankful to be here, but this is not the life I am going to live. And as a young woman with breast reconstruction, I think we've also faced the duality of an industry that's been created for 50 years, which is incredible. The gentlemen that have paved the way for this industry are icons, absolute revolutionary icons. But we have many, many choices when we get diagnosed with breast cancer. And that's really the ethos of AnaOno, is that it doesn't matter if you have 2 breasts or you have 1 breast or you have no breasts or you have new breasts. Like, you deserve beauty and comfort at all levels and stages and phases of that experience. And that was really like what I wanted to bring out. I wanted to bring out the patient first experience. Like, how did I feel? You know, it was like I never understood that like my body was such an instrumental part of my healing as I was going through all of these processes. And I just wanted to feel pretty. It really kind of just frankly came down to like feeling pretty and feeling good and feeling beautiful. And that's where I started. And here we are 10 years later, kind of can't believe it. We're celebrating 10 years this year. We're carried mostly online and through all of our boutique partners that will help you process all of your insurance and do all of your things. We're also carried on Victoria's Secret and Soma and Third Love. And just, you know, my belief is wherever you shop for your intimates before breast cancer, you should be able to shop for them after breast cancer. And, you know, accessibility is key and access is key. Not everybody's lucky enough to live around a boutique like New Dawn, right? We have customers in the middle of nowhere that tell me they have to drive 3 hours to get to a mastectomy boutique. That's really hard, you know? And I think it's just important that we, you know, feel good about ourselves. And I really believe if you feel good, you'll heal better. Because if we can just take away one pain point, whether that's your post-op recovery or feeling comfortable during radiation, or, you know, wearing an Amoena balance form with an AnaOno soft bra, like it all works together, you know, like it's all one big piece of the tiny little pieces of the puzzle we put back together.
I love that, Dana. And, you know, you had mentioned thanking me for bringing everyone together. And as a breast cancer survivor, as someone that is a businesswoman outside of running the nonprofit, my whole thing is collaboration.
Yeah.
Right? We need to have more collaborations happening between different brands, different sectors within the breast cancer community, with nonprofits and other nonprofits together. You know, breast cancer is so cruel.
Well
But
said.
there's also a beauty about breast cancer. And I know, Dana, you can attest to this, and it gets me emotional. You know, some of my dear girlfriends, you know, are survivors. You know, I met them through this terrible diagnosis, you know, to know that I've lost so many women along the way to this diagnosis, to hear so many women say, okay, I'm in the clear, and now I've gotten a second bout of breast cancer or a third bout of breast cancer. At the end of the day, it's about bringing healing, right? And that healing can take place through you feeling more confident, right? Which doesn't affect your mental psyche anymore, right? That healing can come forth of just feeling comfortable in your undergarments, right? And what you're wearing, or even just being seen, right? And being heard about your issues. Like, no one told me you can't wear underwire anymore. Like, none of the doctors mentioned that, you know? So it's like we are learning from other survivors. We are learning from other brands like Amoena, like AnaOno, like going into boutiques like a New Dawn boutique, on the do's and the don'ts, right? And what's available for us. So Ashleigh, do you want to start off by asking both Heidi and Dana some of the questions that we had for them?
Oh, absolutely.
And look at those pretty bras in the back.
I love it. I know. I'm like, Ashleigh, you look great. The background's beautiful.
I know. I even have my favorite AnaOno bra.
The best.
We
So-
wear it every day.
Listen, I'm
I
not
love
trying to give
that
up to
denim
Dana
color.
today,
It's like,
but I
yeah.
have that in like 4 different colors. Right?
These
There's
are
5, Astrid, so I'm
my
a little
2 favorite bras.
disappointed.
All right. Well, our first question is, what should a woman look for in a post-surgical bra?
Wow. Well, I'll hop onto that, and then Heidi will, you know, you'll hop in. I think what's, you know, Astrid just actually touched on so many of those things. I I think from my own personal experience, I say a lot, we didn't ask our doctors about bras before breast cancer. Why are we asking them after breast cancer? And yeah, thumbs up from Heidi. I like it. You know, I really always encourage people, if they do have a local resource, to get to the local resource first. And the reason why is because groups like you, Ashleigh, right? Like you have all options, all choices. I lean into this, like, you don't know what you don't know, part of the experience. So I think from the patient's perspective, sometimes you don't even know what you're going in for. You might think that you're getting a lumpectomy with breast conserving surgery, and you might walk out breastless because they couldn't get the clear margins, or it was a larger tumor than they expected, or like you weren't prepared. And, you know, resources, education, information is total, absolute key. The reality is when you're diagnosed with breast cancer, you don't get the privilege to find all those answers because it is happening so fast, and like you are life or death in a lot of cases, and you are focused on your surgery. So when you're thinking about preparing for surgery, I always just recommend, like, get out there, get some information, get prepared at home, get your family and friends prepared, and you get yourself prepared. But if you're going to look at a post-operative bra, you want to look at something soft, comfortable, fastens in the front. Usually, if you can, an organic material. When I say an organic material, I mean a cotton, a modal, something that comes from the earth. You really do not want anything polyester or nylon, something that's going to be fake and synthetic against your skin. It's going to hold the heat, it's going to hold the moisture, it's going to hold the bacteria. So you want to be as organic in a fiber position as possible. No underwires. And when you think to yourself, well, where do I go for a front closure bra? Like, first of all, that's like usually your hard stop. Just whatever you do, do not go to Amazon and search front closure bra, because what you will get delivered on Amazon is not something that's probably made in a great factory or fits great or even looks great. And you know, that starting there is really like thinking about those simple things can lead you in the right directions. But again, if you can get to a local resource first, that's the win.
Awesome.
I do piggyback on that, Dana, and I totally agree. So on a post-operative bra, just after surgery, I mean, obviously, you know, surgical bras and compression are one thing, and those are all really important to help your healing process, to make your scar better, to prevent any kind of seromas or any kind of issues that may arise from the surgery and preventativeness. But when we're talking about, we're out of that and we're into comfort now, where our scars are healing, and we want something to kind of get back into life again post-surgery. You know, I think the number one thing that we need to make sure is that your fit is correct. And going and trying to search for something on your own and ordering things and trying them and throwing them out and becoming frustrated does not help anything. It doesn't help your frustration level and your hurt level already. And so I think, you know, besides focusing on what type of bra or what bra I need to wear, or trying to understand that, I think the most important thing is understanding you need something that fits and fits well, and that you need help with that. And so really asking for the resources, asking where the Ashleighs are and the new Dawns are, searching Google, asking your nurse navigator. And if I would ask the nurse navigator first, and if seriously they have no resources for you, then I would start the online search for finding a fitter, and support groups like Astrid's that can put you together with who they know and who they are trusted with. So having somebody to go to show you what your options are, and then give you the right fit, that they're going to be the ones that are going to be able to show you the organic materials and the right things and the front closures and all the things that you don't want to have to deal with yourself and waste your time with and waste your money even, and your, you know, you're just your heart. So asking your nurse navigator, asking your support group locally, where is the best place to go to get the best professional fit. That would be my advice. There is lovely products out there. We have bamboo, lovely front closures that really give you good support and a soft, comfortable feel until you're really ready to get into fashion again, you know? So, and fashion is great, but not everybody's ready for it right from the get-go. And, you know, just depending on your individual journey, you might still be going through some sort of treatment plan that you're not stable and you don't want to invest in fashion bras. So those things are all important, but your best friend is going to be your professional fitter.
That's great. And I'm going to be sifting through these questions. The comments are going off the chain and I love it. Because like Dana said, you don't know what you don't know. And I want to ask from a breast cancer survivor's perspective, to both you and Dana, Heidi. So I had the SGAP procedure. I had a double mastectomy. I was not able to keep my nipples. And I'll never forget like having the vacuum wound pack on and being up in the mountains just to kind of get away from, you know, having the double mastectomy and then preparing to remove my ovaries 4 days later, right? Because I was BRCA2 positive. And when this contraption stopped and it was beeping, no one knew what to do. We didn't have clear instructions. We had to call the 1-800 number off of like Google. And they said, oh no, you need to hurry and take that off because the longer you keep it on, it's not going to be good. So mind you, this is the weekend. We're in the mountains. Um, we take it off, and I will never forget seeing my scars, seeing this flat indentation space of what used to house 38 G's. Okay. I had some big breasts. Okay. And what was comforting at that time was to hear my husband say in the bathroom, we will get it right, baby. It's going to be okay. We will get it right. So I had tissue expanders, did the implants. Implants did not make me feel good. I know everyone's story is different. And after advocating for myself last year, a breast surgical oncologist out here in Naples, Florida, suggested that I would check out Dr. Scott Sullivan, who, in my opinion, is the GOAT in New Orleans at the Center for Restorative Breast Surgery. He performed the SGAP procedure on me in April, where they cut me from the back, the lower back area, my hip to hip, and use that skin as a flap and the fat to create breast. So I know people are like, well, what does that look like? Well, guess what? They jiggle, they're soft, right? And they feel great and they look good. But I had to go back for phase 2 for nipples, right? So he created nipples for me. So I have projection. But my question is, there was no bra that I was really able to wear that allowed the because you kind of have to have like these things around the nipples to protect them, like the clear foldings to protect them. But it was tough because the bra would compress it. So does Amoena, does AnaOno have something, or is something in the works for us women that are getting nipple reconstruction and we need to have this on for a good month to protect the nipple?
Okay, so I'm a little in the weeds of what you're asking for. So you're asking for a reconstruction approved bra for nipple reconstruction.
Correct. So for
What-
women that have had reconstruction on their nipples,
Mhm.
they need to have an opening, but yet still have support for their breasts. Is there something like that out already or something in the works?
Okay, so we do, so so you don't want any apex on the bra whatsoever.
Now, when you say apex, remember we have to talk in layman terms.
Okay, so apex meaning the area around the areola, the nipple, the apex where the breast comes out naturally, where the nipples would the apex of the breast would be the nipple.
Yes,
But
so
you
that would
don't
have to
like,
be open.
yeah, we don't have anything with that open. We do have a post-surgical compression bra that doesn't have, it has compression underneath the arms and along the back to support the healing with no compression in the breast area. And it is what most of our plastic surgeons use for any of their breast surgery with nipples, because they don't want compression. They want the compression bra, but they don't want the compression on the nipples. So that would be our Layla bra, but it is not open. It still covers that area. It just doesn't compress that area.
So Astrid, I think too what you're explaining is, and something that's really important for those that are tuning in is depending on what that reconstructive process is,
Right.
depends on sort of what your levels of compression are appropriate or not appropriate as a part of the healing space. So I can say most plastic surgeons we work with, if you're going to do implants, DTI, which is direct to implant, if you're going to have over the muscle or under the muscle, most will say compression is ideal, right? Because you want to make sure that implant is secured. Oh, here's my I'm feeling myself shirt. Self breast checks. Wasn't meant to be a tag, but your implants are attached to your body. And when those implants are attached, you want to secure them in that location so the capsules can start to form. And the more secure that is, the quicker, faster, easier that capsule really adjusts itself to its body. When you do the flap surgery, like you did, even though you had the S-flap procedure with nipple reconstruction afterwards, typically what happens, you don't want compression in those moments because it's going to conform that tissue that is supposed to stay nimble, supposed to stay soft, supposed to stay gushy, because you want the body to allow itself to associate its capsule around that very gushy, cushy material that's just been moved, whether it's been moved from your abdomen, your thigh, your buttocks, your lower back, your upper back, or not upper back here, but lat flap here, is wanting that to be subtle. You know, you want it to be supple, right? You want it to be soft. So you actually want absolutely no compression in those moments. So what happens is many of the plastic surgeons then will say, okay, don't wear anything at all.
Yeah.
But we know that like us not wearing anything at all doesn't really like go into our lifestyles, because I did not have the luxury of sitting at home recovering from my cancer treatment. I still had to go to work. I still had to pay my bills. This was not a time off luxury vacation for me. It was like surgery in, surgery out, back to work, in the grind, lose your home or lose your car.
Yeah.
That was my life. And so going to work or going to out in your life with like out wearing a bra just like feels very foreign. And as you're going through the nipple reconstruction, as you mentioned, you want to conserve the areola with, usually they provide a pad or some sort of like construction around the nipple. So then that way that projection that they've developed has an opportunity to sort of stay rather than receding back into the breast tissue. So when you think about like, how do you kind of like wear a bra but not wear compression? We have like umpteenth dozens of this opportunity, because like that's literally why we were created. Because you have to have something very soft and gentle around the entire body to let the body do the healing it deserves to do. And, you know, being able to like, you know, the tricky part of those pads are they don't stay stuck.
Yeah.
So you have to, you know, you don't want a lot of shifting underneath your clothes. You don't want a lot of moving around. So it's a tricky part of the healing process for sure. As you explained, you had your nipples reconstructed. You can also have them 3D tattooed. People are finding incredible results with these areas. I mean, I sometimes look at a 3D tattooed nipple and I'm like
Blown
stuck.
away.
It
Yeah.
looks so good. There's a lot of beautiful nipple prosthetics. I can tell you Pink Perfect is hand designed, hand painted by a breast cancer patient herself. These look like real nipples. They're very special. I know Amoena has some artificial nipple prosthetics as well. We have fun. We've got piercings on them, and you know, some quirky little fun things that you get to, you know. I like to say, have a nipple, don't have a nipple. You know, it's like a cherry on a cupcake. You want it some days, you don't want it other days, you're all good, you know? I myself got a mastectomy tattoo around my entire torso to cover my scars, because just like you, Astrid, I could not look in the mirror at my scars when I took off my surgical bra. And that was months before I ever looked at myself in the mirror. And I said, well, if I can't look at myself, and this is before nipple reconstruction, before nipple tattoos, before any of this. I said, well, if I can tattoo on a nipple, I can tattoo anything I want. So I did it, you know, but everybody can pick their own flavor. It's really a personal decision. It has to be so personal. It has to be for you. It has to be what you feel like. It has to be what you're going to be proud of, because nobody lives with your body longer than you do. Your partner, your lovers, your friends, society, you have to pick you. And being able to make those decisions and, you know, figuring it all out afterwards is such a huge part of it.
Right. And to go back to the actual garment itself, you know, it goes back to having somebody help you through
Mhm.
all of the products that are available to pick the right thing for you. Again, I can't go back to having that person that has that kind of knowledge, like Ashleigh, and has like the whole store to really be able to walk you through that. Because you know, yes, there's the post-surgical garments or the comfort garments, either one. You know, our post-surgical garments that are compression garments, they're all specifically different.
Mhm.
There's the one that is for no compression at the nipple. There's the one that is the compression. So if you are looking at them, you're thinking that's just all the same thing. But they very much have very specific different properties. And, you know, that's again, really the reason to have somebody kind of filter through all of those products and, you know, how specific they are. And I'm so, you know, understanding what you're saying about looking at yourself for the very first time. And that's part of, you know, the education process that we do with fitters, is that we really try to have them understand the empathy about the very first fit and how important it is. And somebody like Dana that had such a, you know, bad first experience being told that there's not black bras. I mean, come on. Of course there is, you know, and unfortunately there's,
You've come a long way in 15 years.
yeah, 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 there's been black bras for a long time. It's really the disconnect that we need to do better. And it is something that I do want to discuss tonight, and how we can improve that. And it starts with, you know, it starts with you, it starts with survivors, it starts with knowing, you know, that you deserve the best, right? You deserve everything that you need. And sometimes you have to ask for it. And we really need to understand that. So we do try to educate fitters on one end on the empathy and the privacy and the part of the first fit that is more important. I think some people are very afraid of feeling like they're selling something, when we really need to be working with you to inform you and giving you all of your options and allowing you to say, I don't need that. Or just like Dana said with the nipples, some people are like, no, I don't need anything like that. Or some people are like, I never knew. Why didn't I know? Why didn't I know there was nipples? So like if we get out of our comfort zone on both ends, if everybody just kind of opens up about what they want and what they need or what their frustration is, I think we'll all be better together and being able to really, you know, explain to each other, you know, what, you know, I don't know what I need, but this is what I'm looking for. And then on the other side, really understanding that everybody has different needs, and we need to just open up to make sure all options are put out there.
And I think that's great. And that really, I mean, thank you for saying that, Heidi. And that really just segues into my next question for both of you two. Um, you know, there's not going to be a new Dawn boutique everywhere, you know. And what I enjoyed about walking into Ashleigh's store with seeing a variety of different shades and colors. And I would be remiss as a beautiful Black woman that is a breast cancer survivor, and being asked these questions and it being Black History Month, you know, what about the representation and the access? You know, what are these companies out here, Amoena, Dana, and Dana, I know you guys are doing a great job, but AnaOno, in regards to being able to have your marketing, right, with us there, right? And not just the darkest Black woman, right? But all different shades that are represented in your marketing. So that way these women can feel confident, right? To know that it's more than just the Black or the beige option or white option, but there are some sexy options for them, right? That they can feel comfortable in. So I just want to kind of, talk about these things because, these are uncomfortable conversations to have, but the more we have them, the more we can recognize and see the needs of others and being inclusive to bring comfort, right? To make it more comfortable to talk about. So either Dana or Heidi, if you want to address that representation and access, post surgery for women of color.
Well, Astrid, I think it's 100% such an important topic that you bring up. I mean, we know that the results of the statistics are staggering. We know that women of color, specifically Black women and African-American women, are dying at a 40% higher rate than their white counterparts. That is not okay. That gap must be closed. There is no other option. We all are going to be afflicted and affected by breast cancer at some point in time in our lives. And if we are disproportionately treated, have access, or have availability to the medical care that we all deserve, it's not okay. So, in the theme of myself, Dana, as an advocate, but also AnaOno, I've been answering this question for 10 years. And the part that always shocks me is when people say to me, they say, Dana, how are you so inclusive? How are you so diverse? And when I got asked that first question after our first New York Fashion Week show in 2017 that went viral, I looked at the reporter and I said, do you think cancer discriminates? Like, we are all afflicted by this disease and it doesn't matter. You can be, our youngest model was 18 years old. Our oldest model was 70. We had people with breasts, without breasts. We had Indian, Black, Asian, Hispanic, white. I didn't ask. I just said, are you kind of crazy enough to go out for New York Fashion Week in a bra and underwear and like share your story with the world? That's who signed up, and there's a beauty in that, but there's a sadness in the fact that that is not the way the world actually is actioned and integrates. And we know for a very long time, the products have not been incredibly diverse. For us, that's always been something that's been incredibly important for us. It's why we say 2 boobs, 1 boob, no boobs, or new boobs. I think you're beautiful without your breasts. And if you want a sexy bra, we got it for you. Like, that is something that you 100% deserve. Skin tones of all different types of skin tones, we're all different shades and we should have access to those things. And I think that as we actually, again, think of the patient population and not the business of breast cancer, we break through those barriers. But you have to have the energy, the gumption, and the guts to get through the business. Because are you going to affect and support you're not, right? We know, and Ashleigh, I hope that you talk about this at some point in time, insurance coverage.
We are going to talk about that tonight. Yeah.
Right. Because like, depending on how you're covered, depends on what you can have access to, right? Maybe you can have a custom breast form from Amoena because your insurance covers it. Yeah. See, there they are. My favorite product, the custom breast form. It's like my #1. Or like, maybe you can't because your insurance isn't covered and that's out of pocket. It's very expensive. So you've got to be able to like understand too what's accessible to you and how you can get access to these things, because it's disproportionate even in our access and care of what we can get. So it's balancing all those things, but what you say is so important, because again, it shouldn't matter how you're covered, what color your skin is, what age you are. You should have the right access to the right treatment, to the right care. The only way we get there is by funding research, by getting engaged with our communities, getting the words out, breaking down all the systemic and systemic barriers that exist in this world, and fighting through them as a community, as a whole. Whether you're a preventative mastectomy and you're a previvor, a survivor, or a thriver, if y'all can't tell, I'm super passionate about this, and I will get off my soapbox, but we've got to band together because we are only safe in numbers, and that's how we make change.
Thank you for that, Dana. Heidi, you want to add to that?
Yes. Preach, Dana. No, it's true. I mean, everything that you say is just really statistically true. And that's unfortunate that we get down to statistics when we're really just talking about our community and our friends and our family and people we know and the stories that we hear. And so love support groups like the sisterhoods that we see, like Astrid, that you're doing, the breasties that I work with. There's a lot, you know. There's a lot of, you know, urban initiatives that Amoena supports. And, you know, unfortunately, we don't go so much to it of the research and development and the medical end of it, because we're really about supporting women, you know, their post journey and being there and for them, you know, after we're not doctors, right? I'm not a scientist. We're not trying to be, we do work with that end of it very much to try to create the best products to help with you if you develop any kind of lymphedema or any problems afterwards, that we make sure that we have the best products for any and every woman. When it comes to coverage and products that are available for women that, you know, would be covered by any type of insurance that she has or no insurance, you know, we create products that are cost effective for someone that may have to come in and have a donation or some help through some foundation that is affordable products. And we make products in that category. We like to just say good, better, and best, but they're all excellent. But the price ranges in the good, better, and best where it's very affordable if they have to pay cash. And then we make products that, you know, exceed expectations on custom breast forms in 7 different, you know, skin tones and just different choices. The innovation that Amoena has provided over the last 50 years in silicone prosthetics has been hands down unheard of. With the ability to help all women, whether they've lost their breast, tried reconstruction, had failed reconstruction, to have products like the Adapt Air that can be adjusted to the chest wall, and offering. So the most recent type of things that have evolved with Amoena sounds so stupid, but it's so important. Things like, we don't call bras that are beige nude anymore. Everybody laughed collectively. I mean, it is that simple, but I don't know, probably 5 years ago, we just kept saying in America, can we stop calling this nude? This isn't nude. This isn't everybody's nude. But I mean, simple things like that. We don't have a nude bra anymore. You know, we have blush and ivory and mocha and black and white. We have black and white, but we have sand and mocha and all the shades in between, the 7 shades of different colors, but none of them are nude. So we've done away with that. That's an old-timey thing, that all beige bras were called nude. So that's just a thing of the past. We've for a long time, for years and years and years, we've only really had 4 colors in the silicone breast forms that we've offered. And now we have 6. You know, it's an improvement.
It's baby steps. And
yeah, and in the custom breast forms, there's 7.
yeah.
So, and really 14 when you get to, if you get into choices of whether you want a lightweight breast form versus a standard weight, because all the tones kind of change when you change the silicone formulations. So, without getting too technical on anything, there's been great improvement on that. But I would like to address this. And this is a big point that I want to share, and I want to challenge all of you, because this is the challenge that we have here. It's everywhere. It's not just in the US, but I can only speak to the US, and I can speak about the US, and I can speak very specifically about in Florida. I don't know where everyone is from, but it is global. So we have a very nice portfolio of breast forms that are available in those 6 tones, but not every breast form is. So there is certain contact forms that you can only get in lighter shades, and it's something that we struggle with and we ask for all the time. The problem lies in that we have a lot of boutiques, not Ashleigh's. I'm not calling you out by any means. We have a lot of boutiques that will offer all women of any color a standard ivory breast form.
Not acceptable.
Women take it, Astrid.
I know.
I'm challenging you. So this is the reality. I can say, I've been an account manager with Amoena for 18 years. And for 18 years, we have offered breast forms of other colors. And I have never sold more than 8% of all of my sales of breast forms. Less than 8% are of any other color than ivory. And that is wrong. It is disparaging, and it's wrong. It's wrong on the retailer end. It's wrong on the consumer end. And I really would love to see a complete change in that. Do not accept something that isn't right for you. The product is there. It's not that the product isn't there. Knowledge is power. The product is there. Please ask for it, demand it, require it. Do not accept other things. We hear things all the time like, oh, it doesn't matter, it just goes in a pocket. If I hear it doesn't matter, or I don't care one more time, my heart is going to break. It's very concerning. And I know that many times it's just because you don't know that there's something else. And so that's what I would love to see improved on and changed, that I can go and ask for more things. We as American company can go and ask for more things. But when only 6% of sales, of all sales, are this, they're not going to give you more of it when you can't
Absolutely.
sell what you have.
Yeah. And I get that from a business standpoint, right? Because
Yeah.
numbers.
We have them. We need
Yeah.
to have you ask for them.
Yeah.
We
And-
need to
and
have fitters make sure that they offer them. Yeah.
it goes back to the access, because Ashleigh can share with me about this last Christmas. We did 12 days of Pinkmas, and we blessed 12 breast cancer patients with a gift each day for 12 days. And one of our participants came from another country. I want to say Argentina. Okay. And I thought that she had both breasts until towards the last bit of the 12 days of Pinkmas. She came in, and clearly you could see that she did not have a breast on one side. And after having conversation, she shared, and Ashleigh, you can attest to this, she only had one bra.
A makeshift prosthesis.
That
She
could
did
fit
very
that.
well, actually. It's good, but
Yeah.
she deserved better.
And I was heartbroken And I told her, said, okay, Ashley was actually doing a fitting that day. I said, when Ashley's done with her fitting, I will get you a prosthesis. We cannot have you walking around like this, you know? And like Ashley can tell you, I was almost like completely in tears to see this young mother, but then yet the confidence that she exuded, regardless of the fact of her having a real breast or not, and knowing that she didn't have health insurance to be able to cover this, that stood in the way. That was a barrier for her. And I know that it's a barrier for so many women, whether you are in the US or not, to be able to get access for this. So it's really great to hear, Heidi, that, you know, the cost, right, is doable. It's reasonable. But then it's like, reasonable for who, right? Because everyone's reality is different, you know, that's out there. So thank you for sharing that. And I wanted to kind of have Ashley touch about the insurance a little bit more. And then I'm going to sift through these questions that we have so that way you ladies can answer them before we wrap up tonight.
Okay, so as far as insurance goes, you would need a prescription from your doctor, which typically we would get that for the patient. Every boutique is going to be different. They might require the patient to do that. I'm not sure, but we would get the prescription. We would need their office notes from their doctor, and then we would verify their insurance and be able to tell them their eligibility. Typically, a patient can get 6 bras through insurance a year. Leisure prosthesis every 6 months, a silicone prosthesis every 2 years, and the custom prosthesis really just depends on the policy. Um, Medicare doesn't cover them. There's a site called Let Her Decide that people can log into, and they can try to make a difference as far as the customs go. I think that's important to know because I think custom is the best option as far as breast prosthesis. It's made to you. But yeah, there's a lot of options. Heidi was saying something earlier, and so is Dana. We like to offer everything that we can. Nobody has to take it from us. So we don't want to ever feel like anybody's pushed into taking anything from us. We just want to be able to offer everything that they have available to them, typically through insurance. And if anybody has any questions for me, I put my phone number in the chat and you can call me.
And I just want to add to that, Ashleigh, because I think what's, and you and I have actually had a conversation about this, but I do also think that like from the patient's perspective, we have to also realize that we are not being informed of this access inside the medical office. So as you are embarking on, there's multiple people in the chat tonight that said, okay, I'm about to have my surgery. I'm having another surgery, you know, whatever these stories are. It's not in best practices as much today as maybe it was 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. We all know that our medical field has been stripped of their time that they get to spend with us. So they're not always offering, hey, here's a prescription, or did you know a new Dawn is down the street from you and you can go get fitted for a prosthesis. So you really do need to reach out and get the access sometimes when you need it. And it's really unfortunate. We do not want to put more onus on the patient, but it does help impact your, you know, overall care and recovery. We will get asked all the time, maybe people that are out 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, depending on your state, depending on your insurance. It does not matter what surgery you have had. If you have got a breast cancer diagnosis, you still have the opportunity for this coverage. I want to say that very, very specifically, because if you have had a lumpectomy and your breast has shrunk due to your radiation, but you did not experience that shrinking for a year to 2 years to 3 years afterwards, you may want to go into a boutique, get fitted for an Amoena balance form, put an AnaOno bra over top of it. And then you've got like, you still have that access no matter at what point you're at in that survivorship period. So this is access for a lifetime. It's not access for the year that you've been diagnosed or the year after you've been diagnosed. It is access for a lifetime. But it's always great to call, verify your benefits, either with your insurance company, or a lot of the boutiques will run and verify for you, which is also so important. Some, depending on where you live, I know there's seems like there's a lot of AnaOno group here tonight, which is really great. But depending on what state you're in, can also change your access. Some insurance providers will give you 2 bras, some will give you 6, some will say, hey, however many you need. So it's just always good to know, like, what are you walking into and what kind of support can you get? Because if you don't have to pay for it, you shouldn't have to. That is my number one point always. Cancer is expensive enough. If you can save some money on your forms and your bras, please do so by finding a provider, because it really does make an impact.
Well, I'm going to go here and start asking some of these questions. I'm going to start at the top. We have June Fiorelli. She said, I just had a double mastectomy on Tuesday. Where do I start?
June, rest, relax, sleep. Give yourself all of that moments to take this downturn. But you know,
Feel.
looking right, like take it. I like to think about recovery in 5 stages. One is you're actually at the point of recovery. When you're recovering, your incisions hurt, your body hurts, your scars hurt. Maybe you have some radiation therapy ahead, but this is when you need sort of more basic baseline products, right? The items that I talked about earlier: opening in the front, organic materials, soft materials, compression if you need it, compression if you're developing breast lymphedema. Depending on your surgeon's preference, maybe you need to be managing your drains, because like that is the worst part of the entire process, the worst. Talk about drains for 30 minutes. We won't go there, but we could. And
the next webinar.
Next webinar, drains only. And I think Ashleigh added a great tidbit into the chat where she said, you know, it's best to go and get fitted 4 to 6 weeks after. This is the phase that I like to call the reclaim phase. And this is when you kind of start to like wake up out of that like surgical fog, and you're kind of trying to, again, put those pieces back together. You're sort of like, I'm not comfortable enough in my own skin, but like, I'm also kind of like disgusted by what I've had to wear for the last 3 to 4 weeks, but your swelling has decreased. If you have had reconstruction, you've probably settled a little bit into that reconstruction. If you've stayed flat, your scars are going to start to decrease. That swelling that's happening on your chest wall is going to start to decrease. You can start to look at something that might mimic or feel a little bit more like a bra, right? And then you go into, you know, rediscovering who you're going to be, whether that's getting something sexy or pretty or flirty. That's like, you know, call it 6 months out, depending on if you have radiation therapy or not, because healing takes time. It's really, I think, for me, it was my hardest. Astrid, I don't know for you, but even when I had my revision, my 10-year revision that happened 12 years later, it really took me a year to settle back into my own skin. So you can't rush this process. Don't get frustrated with yourself. Don't get mad at yourself. But you know, you're gonna start that revive, right? You're gonna start reviving into that new body, that new bits and pieces. And you know what? I'm 15 years out. I'm still struggling with my reveal stage. That's the one where you get to get, yeah. I don't know if I'm there. Some days I'm there, some days I'm not there. So don't feel like you got to rush it, because, you know, just like do you in your moments, get to where you want to be and just feel good about yourself. But just one foot in front of the other, one day at a time, it all progresses. Just maybe not as fast as we would like sometimes.
You brought up a good point about waiting, 4 to 6 weeks out. I had reached out to some of my breast cancer survivors out there, and Warrior Megzy had sent me a text message, and her little text was, I was frustrated because of the swelling and not realizing I would need a wider bra band, and I had to get resized. So Dana is spot on. Wait, ladies. I know you're just like antsy to get back into something that is normal, but you definitely want to wait. Carol Ringwell, one of our 12 days of Pink Miss recipients. She's on here. She says, what is a good compression bra that I can purchase? I had a total bilateral mastectomy in 2024.
So I really love the Linda bra from Amoena. I believe Dana has a new one now herself, if you want to tell everyone about yours.
Yeah, you know, our compression bra, and I know the Linda bra and Amoena, Heidi, you probably want to talk about those features and benefits. They're a little bit different. You know, our Bianca compression bra is it's really well positioned for people that have gone direct to implant, either over or under the chest wall muscle for breast reconstruction. If you've had one breast removed and you have a little, you have some edema developing in the chest wall under the wall, it's got a front closure. It's got 360 compression. It's sporty, it's fun, it's fashionable, and it gives you what you need. There are more serious compression bras. And if you are facing a more serious condition like lymphedema, or have some major swelling in the breast, you probably want to, get into something like the Linda compression bra. Heidi, I don't know if you want to touch a little bit on, the seamless technology and some of why that's important.
Sure. I know that Ashleigh has some Lindas there.
Oh, well, you can see it.
And I know you said you were a double mastectomy. So
Yeah.
if you show the front of it, so it does look like it has the cups there. So these have some padded cups in it that you can remove if you like. Gives a little bit of shape, but the technique of it as a compression type of bra is a gentle compression, and the sides of it are nice and high to envelop all of the skin under the underarm and all the way through the whole side. If you look at the side, that is a raised, soft channeling effect that's under the arm, and it really helps move fluid that would normally develop and sit in that area, and it really helps reduce any type of swelling or prevent any type of swelling that you have in that area. And if you look at the construction of the bra, it's what we call a laser cut. And so there's not stitching or seaming on it. And so it lays very flat and even. There's no lace or any kind of pretty on it. And that is for a reason. So there's nothing that is rubbing, digging, cutting on you. And there's actually not even any hardware on it. So there's not adjustability on the straps in the back. So you don't have any of that pressure points on it. And so it just allows you to have this seamless, soft, laser cut bodice on to give you the support that you need, with the raised up sides to really help move any kind of fluid or lymph fluid, and help keep you from getting additional swelling. What I would say to you, if you're having issues that far out after a bilateral mastectomy, is to really make sure that you're in touch with some sort of post-breast cancer therapist. If you've never had a referral to a therapist that could do gentle massage or just really an evaluation for yourself, it's unbelievable the help that physical or occupational therapists that are trained in post-breast surgery can be your best friend. From range of motion to edema to what you're doing wrong that might be causing some issues that you have. I can't really tell you enough that if anybody that is having any kind of post-surgical changes and you don't feel comfortable with it, please follow up. If you're not getting help from your own surgeon or your own primary care doctor, therapists, I can't tell you just on the front line how proactive they are for your own healthcare, and they will help you in the right way, and they will be in contact with your physicians and your healthcare providers lickety split to make sure that you're getting exactly what you need. Therapists have been on the front line as far as my contacts with the medical healthcare professional. Therapists have been a great help. And just to piggyback a little bit on our last subject of talking, Dana said, all of these products are covered by insurance and driven by the diagnosis of breast cancer. It really is regardless of what you choose and what your diagnosis path is, whether you have chemo or you don't have chemo, or radiation or no radiation, or a lumpectomy or a full mastectomy or a double mastectomy. You choose reconstruction. It's still all available to you for your entire rest of your life. So any changes that might happen even 5-10 years down the road, or other choices that you make 5-10 years down the road, the diagnosis of breast cancer, because of the Women's Care Act from 1993, is what is giving you the power of having these things available to you in the United States. So use them or lose them, and make sure that you're an advocate for yourself. If you're having issues with any kind of swelling or changes, go to a therapist and get referrals from your doctor to have that kind of therapy done. That's covered by insurance as well, because we want to get you in the right product. There's a lot of products, but being in the right product and the right fit is so important.
Well, and I just want to piggyback on what Heidi said real quick. When we talk about compression bras too, be very clear on, and if you get to a professional fitter, this is the most amazing part, because there are two different versions of compression. One is
Right.
post-operative compression, which helps the swelling that's going to naturally be built up in the body in order for the body to heal. And then there's lymphedema. And we have to understand that lymphedema is a very serious condition that can develop after breast cancer. And if this condition is not treated, it can be treated, but if you ignore it, it can become chronic. And this is probably one of the worst side effects that we can go through as cancer patients if left untreated. So Heidi was talking about therapists, meaning physical therapists. Yes, unfortunately, not everybody's insurance will cover a physical therapist, but you have to check, you have to get the access, you have to be able to try to help yourself. But garments are a virgin, as well as good overall health and well-being and exercise. And also be very conscious that if it is a lymphedema issue, you do want to address that with the doctors. And the Lymphedema Care Act just passed actually a few years ago, where we are actually able to diagnose it. So believe it, that only until a few years ago, we were not diagnosing lymphedema. We were telling every woman that she was crazy and that it didn't matter and that she was going to be fine. Now we're actually scientifically diagnosing lymphedema, which is amazing. So if you are developing that in the breast, and there's multiple different reasons why this could happen. One, and most oftenly, radiation therapy. It's not always the number one driving effect. Surgeries can also do that, as well as your lymph node removals. But be conscious of that. So if you kind of look at a breast and you're like, this one feels like a little bit fuller and maybe a little bit fluid, and you can kind of touch and you get a little dimpling, you definitely want to call the doctor about that, because you want to be able to get yourself into the right garment that helps.
Thank you.
And call the doctor and ask for a therapy referral. Don't just him go or her go, oh, well, I don't know, like, why don't you just go get a sports bra or something? Call and ask for a therapy referral and see if you have coverage for it, because I've seen a couple of comments that it's been invaluable. Anybody that I've, hopefully
Game
you're
changing.
needing a referral to a therapist just for a consultation, either prior to surgery or immediately after, for range of motion, even just healing. So if you haven't been referred to a therapist for any kind of evaluation, ask for one. It could be invaluable.
Perfect. We had Christine Johnson ask, can we purchase bras directly and have it go against our insurance deductible, or do we need a prescription before purchase? And I know, Ashleigh, you kind of touched on that a little bit earlier about having the prescription come in. But to answer the first portion of her question, is that a possibility?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. So as far as ordering direct, kind of goes back to like the fashion and the pretty and the colors and having more choices than beige. One reason why Amoena sells directly online is that we have such a huge portfolio and beautiful seasonal products, lots of lace, lots of different styles to choose from, but they're not always welcome into boutiques or hospitals or things like that. They carry the basics, right? Inventory and businesses are, subject to different things. Insurance companies sometimes only reimburse a very small portion of the bra. So, a bra might retail for $60 or $70, but insurance companies only pay $20 or $25 for a bra. So it's very difficult for businesses sometimes to carry all of those different styles. So we do sell online direct, but Amoena does not file or take any type of insurance. It would just be a cash sell. We do not sell silicone directly because we truly believe that that needs to be fit professionally.
Perfect. Thank you.
And I'm
so
sure you can buy anything that you want. This isn't something that's restricted that you can't buy for yourself. If there's something that you see that you like, you can certainly buy it. Your insurance only gives you so much under that contract that you have, but you are very welcome to buy any product or anything that you like for yourself. There's nobody telling you can't buy anything.
It's what you can afford and what
Yeah, what you
your
want.
style, right? And what you
Yeah.
want.
Yeah.
We have a few more minutes left, and I just wanted to go over our poll and kind of read back where we were. So the first question was, what's the most important factor for you when choosing a post-surgery bra? About 47% of our guests tonight said comfort above all. 13% said style. I still want to feel fabulous. I think I kind of fall into that realm. 33% said proper fit and support, and 7% said affordability and accessibility. Our next question was, what has been your biggest challenge in rebuilding confidence after surgery? Hands down, we're going to have another webinar on this further out. And just to touch back, March 27th, we're having an in-person event on lymphedema, flowing with lymphedema and living through that. And that's going to be at a New Dawn Boutique in Fort Myers. And we will live stream that for those that are not here. But
Nice.
45% said embracing my body post-surgery.
Mhm.
It never gets easy, ladies. Dana's letting you know she's 15 years out. I'm 7 years out. I'm 5 months post-surgery. And I remember sending Dana a cute little video months back of the lace bralette that I picked up. And I was just feeling myself, right? But then the next day I'm like, oh, I really don't like this scar. Or I don't, so that is so important to be able to embrace our bodies post-surgery. 18% said finding the right post-mastectomy products. 9% said adjusting my wardrobe for comfort and style. And 27% said understanding all recovery options available to me. The third question that we had put in there was, how many different post-surgery undergarment lines are you aware of?
Mm.
And we got quite a bit that answered where they only knew of 4, some only knew of 2, some only knew of 3, and it was about 53% of you guys that answered that, of not knowing a lot of different lines that were out there to represent the needs that we have. I asked the question, are you familiar with AnaOno? 67% answered yes. Okay. About 2% said no. Are
Love
you
you guys? Thanks for coming.
And then I asked the question about Amoena, right? And 67% answered. And we have to just do a better job promoting. We had about half say yes, and then the other portion that said no. So about 40% said yes, 60% said no.
Okay.
And I believe this could possibly be the reason, because at the end of the day, right, we know how important social media is, right? And if you're not out there, like, we are 2 years in as a nonprofit, okay? And a lot of things that we would like to do, we can't sustain to do everything. And there are times where I'm coming out of my personal pocket to fund the nonprofit, because unless you have sponsors and people are flooding in, you need a website person, you need the social media guru, right? So unless you're out there posting on a consistent basis, people are not aware, right? Because we get our information online, right? We get our information through social media. So I'm not sure if that is 100% directed to it, because I know, Dana, you're out there on your personal page, and then as well as on your business page. And then with Amoena, I mean, you guys are in 70 countries, but yet we're focusing here. I think most people, like myself included, really just know it from coming home from the hospital, right? In that post-surgical undergarment, versus being able to see other garments like the cami that I wore back to the airport. So I will do a better job of promoting you guys as well, because I love the products. The
Perfect.
last question we had was, where do you shop for your post-surgery undergarments? Some people just mention their local places that they have where they live. Some mention directly from the website. Some said, I just had a mastectomy this week, so I haven't shopped yet. So great on that. So thank you, ladies, for your feedback on our poll. And it's really good to hear from everyone, right? Of how we can improve, how we can make sure that we are feeling confident, right? And comfortable in our healing journey. And Pink Divas United is going to do a raffle. We're going to offer a $100 gift certificate, because we realize that everyone may not have health insurance, right? So we want to be inclusive to everyone that's out there to use at a New Dawn boutique. And you can also call Ashleigh for anything that is not online that you see. And my prayer is that you support and buy something from each of these beautiful lines that are represented tonight, because I love you guys.
Amazing. Thank you, Astrid. Thank you for all your work. Anudan, Heidi, for bringing Amoena into the conversation. This has really been a lovely evening. And for everybody that attended, I hope you all learned something tonight. It's so important. And as you said, Astrid, we just need to do better. Unfortunately, we always meet somebody else that has breast cancer. And, you know, I've got my top 10 list. Don't do anything without these 10 things. I'm sure whoever you meet do. And one of them is to, you know, make sure that they know that this coverage is available to them.
Thank you so much. So if you guys can, before we wrap up, can you kindly put down your social media handles in the comment section, so that way we can have our guests follow you guys if they're not already following you. And if you feel so inclined to put any other information down, any events that are happening or links to your websites that we can repost on our social media platforms, and on our website, we would love to do that. So in regards to the raffle, okay, we will announce the winner tomorrow evening, okay? And in order to win, we are asking that you tag 3 friends to a New Dawn Boutique's Instagram page, 3 friends to AnaOno's Instagram page, and 3 friends to Amoena's Instagram page. Now, Heidi, is it the Amoena USA one, or which one would you like us to do?
Either one, depending on where you are in the country signing in from. Mona USA would be, you know, covering obviously the United States. I do have an Mona Florida. So it's an underscore Florida one. I'll put it in the chat. So I pretty much piggyback off of the USA one. So either one would be fine.
So we'll do the USA one, because yes, I'm
Perfect.
here in Florida, but we have Pink Divas all over the
Everywhere.
world.
Yeah.
So I
And
want to
we
make
actually
sure.
have an Amoena Instagram each country. So if you want Denmark or Norway or Germany or anywhere, you can, you know, underscore that specific country.
So let's do Amoena USA, okay? Because I
Perfect.
know we had someone on here watching from Antigua tonight from the Caribbean. So
Yeah.
kudos to you. Yeah, so tag 3 friends to Pink Divas United, to AnaOno, to Amoena USA, and to a New Dawn Boutique. And we will be drawing the winner tomorrow live from Pink Divas United's Instagram page at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that's $100 gift certificate to be used at the store. And even if you don't live in Florida, as I said before, you can go online and Ashleigh will walk you through the different products that they have there to bless you. So thank you, ladies, so much. Please share this information. You don't know what you don't know. Stay tuned. We're going to have some more events throughout the year, virtually and in person. And please follow Amoena, follow AnaOno, and see what they're doing. And of course, make sure that you're following New Dawn Boutique. So love you guys and have a great evening.
Yeah, bless
One last
you.
thing, everyone go and click on the link to vote for Dana.
Yes! Oh my God, I almost forgot
I
about
know I
that.
did a very small plug. We're up for the Entrepreneur of Impact Award from Forbes magazine, and we're so close. We're number 3 right now. So
Can you
share the
post the
vote.
link in the
I
chat
did.
right now?
I did.
Okay, perfect. 'Cause I got off from doing the whole poll and the survey, and now my screen kind of blanked out. So thank you so much for doing that. I'm
You know,
gonna
you asked for a favor. I threw one in. So
Yes.
You deserve
Look,
it.
we got to work with each other, girl. I get it. So love you guys and good luck on that, Dana. We're rooting for you.
Mwah.
Bye, ladies. Have a good
Bye.
Bye, you guys. Thank you.